So you've got to burn your boats to be successful. I've had a message from over on somebody on LinkedIn who wanted to know they're self-employed and they want to overcome the fear of going self-employed. You know, when you've been in a long employed role, it can be scary. You're going out on your own. You don't know where your next pound's going to come from. You don't know if you're going to be able to generate an income. You don't know what capital is going to be needed. And it is a really, really scary thought. But then anything that's daring, dangerous, new territory is going to be scary. And that's why I really like the saying, burn your boats, because it means you've got no other option. It means that, you're committing yourself to only going forwards and to making it work. Now, one of the key things that I'm going to say to you in this is I'm not telling anybody to leave their job and go self-employed. That's not my position. But what I want to do today is give you something to think about if you want to leave your employed role to go into a self-employed role. Now, some people tell me that I'm a bit crazy because when I went self-employed back in 2006, I had just moved into my own flat, my first property, and I got 100% mortgage. And that means that I didn't need any kind of deposit. It was back in the pre-credit crunch days, 2006. And 2 months after I moved into my flat, I decided to leave my employed role and go self-employed. So I'd just taken on a new mortgage, I'd just taken on new bills, and worse still, we completed on the 23rd of December. So probably the worst time to be thinking about going self-employed, because it's hard enough to make an income in the new year. So what I've done is I've written down a few things that I think you need to think about when you're burning your boats, when you're going self-employed. Now, the one thing I can tell you is there is never a good time. Anyone who's had children, and I've now got 3 of them, when you have your first one, you think to yourself, is this the right time? Are we going to be able to do it? Have we got enough money to buy all the stuff and put it in the house? You go through that thought process of wondering. And it's only once you actually get to that point of no return and you've actually burnt your boats and you've got yourself pregnant that you're in for the long haul. There's no going back. And that's the same kind of commitment that you need to have with your mindset, because it all comes back to mindset when you leave your employed role to go self-employed. Now, this person who's reached out to me is actually an employed mortgage broker. So some of the things I'm going to talk about on this live are going to be about doing it as a mortgage broker. But I think a lot of what I'm going to talk about applies to anyone who's employed, who wants to go self-employed in any role. So the first thing you need to do in order to be able to overcome your fear is work out why you're going self-employed. Because the one thing that any self-employed person will tell you if they've been at it long enough is if you want an easy life, stay employed. Yes, if you want an easy life, stay employed. Because you start off on this lovely road. I'm doing it for myself. I'm working for myself. I'm dictating my own hours. I'm where I want to be when I want to be there. But actually, you end up working more. You end up working twice as hard. You end up working on weekends. Oh, I'll just do a little bit on my sofa. Oh, I'll just get the laptop out. And then all of a sudden, an hour or 2 hours has gone. And actually, it's more painful than you realise. And I've just dropped my notes. So if you want an easy life, you stay employed, because it is not easy becoming self-employed. You all of a sudden have to start wearing at least 5 hats. You've got marketing, you've got sales, you've got administration, you've got finances, and then you've got customer service and everything else that comes with it. Now, what happens is, for most people who are employed, going self-employed, is you're really good at your job. You're a good technician. But actually, nobody's taught you how to do business. Nobody's taught you how to do accounts. Nobody's sat down with you and shown you how to generate leads consistently. And that's one of the big things that I think a lot of people make, is they underestimate the difficulty in learning all this stuff whilst trying to earn a living and actually do the job that they've been used to doing as an employee. So one of the easiest things, depending on the job that you're in, and it's really hard in the mortgage industry, is to try and do a side hustle. You know, start the job that you want to do alongside the job that you're currently doing in the evenings, in weekends. One of the things I hear from a lot of my mentees is I haven't got time. There's always time. There's time in the evenings. You could work until potentially 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you could still get up at 6, 7 o'clock and have a decent night's kip. If you want it that much, you will go that extra mile and you will do that extra bit. You know, when I started out, and several times over the last few years, I've done 9 in the morning till 9 at night in the office. That's still going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, seeing the kids, going to the office for 9 o'clock and then working till 9:30 at night, because that's what you have to do 5 days a week. Then you're still doing hours on a weekend. It's just, you have to appreciate that if you want to have success as a self-employed person starting out, you need to start out with the right mindset, and that's the mindset to win and the mindset to succeed. And one of the mistakes that a lot of people make, no matter what industry they're in, is they get all hell-bent on the infrastructure. They get hell-bent on, I need a website, I need business cards, I need swag, I need all this fancy stuff that isn't going to make you any money. The only thing that you need to focus on as a self-employed person when you start out, and to be honest, quite a lot of the time through your career, is marketing and sales. How are you going to get customers? Can you consistently get customers? And you need to keep selling to them. Forget all the other stuff. No one cares. They just care about the problem that you're going to be able to solve for them and the results that you're going to be able to get for them. So forgetting all of that stuff is fundamentally key. If you can do a side hustle along your job, you can test the problems that you're going to solve. You can forget about staff, forget about websites. You can just focus on doing some marketing, launching social media, building a Facebook group, posting consistently, doing videos, writing blogs, sharing content, getting it up on YouTube, putting it out on Instagram, testing, building an audience. You know, we are in fantastic times. When I started as a self-employed person, I was knocking on doors. I was cold calling 100 people to get one deal. And now you can literally go and do a video and get seen by thousands. My first TikTok video is currently sitting at 450,000 views. And I did that strategically because I knew what would get reach. I knew what would get seen by lots and lots of people. And the advantage of doing that as my first video is it gave me more functionality within the TikTok platform. And TikTok now views that I'm somebody who's worth showing to their audiences or showing to people. So what then happens is now my second video, which I've done focused on mortgages, is now approaching 7,000 views. But I wouldn't have got 7,000 views had I have done the mortgage video first. So it's understanding the tactics and the strategies that get you the results. And you only learn that either by investing in somebody like me as a mentor and a coach and a trainer, or learning over 2, 3, 4 years and understanding what works. So focus on marketing, focus on sales first. Now, when you're starting out as a mortgage broker, you can go and work for another company and they could probably supply you with leads. Now, if they're supplying you with good quality leads, then realistically, you should be able to take a decent percentage of income from those. Usually you find it's something like 40 to 50 to 55% of the leads that are being passed to you as a commission split. You know, they're generating the lead, they're giving you the lead, so you're normally going to take at least 50% income from that, somewhere give or take 5% either side. Now, I can tell you consistently that for my advisors who have come and joined me, and I've had several over the last few years, and looking back at all the figures, you know, in the first month, they're focusing on selling protection. They're focusing on fees for mortgages. Protection pays much, much quicker within a couple of weeks. Fees is the other area in which you can get clients bought into you straight away and you'll earn the money quicker, because mortgage lenders might take 3-6 months to pay you because of the time it takes to build your pipeline. So my advisors in month 1 have earned on average 500 quid. On month 2 to 3, 12 to 1500, and by month 4 and 5 they're earning 3,000 plus. So if you're good at marketing and you know how to get leads, you know, if my advisors are working on 50%, for example, then they're making £1,000 in month 1, 2,500 month 2 and 3, 5,000 to 6,000 month 4 and 5. but I know how to generate leads. And that's the biggest thing that people need to focus on, is marketing and lead generation. So if you are going self-employed, the biggest thing you need to focus on is lead generation. And the problem is, when you get busy, the first thing you will get rid of is what made you busy, which is the lead generation. So you still need to keep focusing on the lead generation. And it's about focusing on what people want as well as what people need. You know, protection, not just the mortgage. Protection is going to pay much, much quicker. You need to be proactive with your marketing, out on social media, at all the networking events, going to training events, ringing everyone in your phone book, contacting all your old contacts, all your old colleagues, telling them that this is how you've gone self-employed. It is not easy, but if you do it consistently to start off with, then it's going to make your life so much easier. So that's just my few points on what you need to do. Now, as I said, I'm not advocating anybody leave their job unless they have the right mindset. I'm not advocating that I'm not advising anybody to go and give up their job. But you need to work out what your current monthly expenditure is, and then you need to make sure that you're able to go out and earn that. And you need to know what your average commissions are from either fees, from mortgages, from whatever product you're selling, in order to be able to contribute that to cover your personal lifestyle. Because the one thing you do not want to do is get yourself into debt when you first go self-employed, and then risk your ability to be able to pay your mortgage, to pay your bills, living expenses, car, whatever it might well be. So an advisable thing to do could be to have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in your bank account as protection. And that might help your mindset in order to be able to do it. As I said earlier, I'm somebody who takes massive risks, but calculated risks, because I knew I could generate leads back in 2006. I knew what money I needed to earn, and I knew that I could do that through friends, family, recommendations and referrals when I first started out, because that's equally one of the most important things you can do when you're starting out, is ask every single person that you work with for a referral. So let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments below with your thoughts about burning your boats and going self-employed. But as always, remember, now is the time to become pro. Speak to you soon.